Indiana Basketball Weekly Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. I'm your host, Mike Goodpaster. Right now, I want to welcome in my co-host, Indiana Basketball Hall of Famer, number 34 for the 1981 National Champions, and generally just one of the greatest men I've ever known, Steve Risley.
Introduction is getting much better, Mike.
Yeah, I figured the more I grease you, the happier you'd be.
I'm starting to feel the love, finally.
Well, wait till the next show.
Are
Tonight,
we getting any hate mail? Are we getting any hate mail yet because I'm just a big turd?
actually, all the mail we've got has been awesome so far. We've had like 5 people that have texted me through Twitter wanting to know why our show wasn't on yet. And I said, well, it's 90 degrees in California. They're 3 hours behind us, so Risley's on a golf course somewhere.
Yes, I was, and it was a fun afternoon to be playing golf. I sweated in a cool, like Adidas golf shirt brought to me by the Indiana basketball team.
I have not sweated in like 6 months, I think.
Yeah, no, it was hot and sticky. Actually, it was beautiful. So, saw the Pacific Ocean as I was playing.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Life's tough. Yeah,
all right. We're finally getting what we want, Steve, and I think we've seen this coming. This team played almost a perfect game tonight. They beat an undermanned Minnesota team 80-56 at home. The thing that stood out to me, and we've been talking about this for the last few weeks when he was going to find the correct lineup, and Devontae Green's introduction to this lineup and his subsequent, I mean, for lack of a better term, excellence has been a huge part of it. And the other elements of the lineup shouldn't be overlooked. You got Morgan and Johnson are its anchors. McRoberts' defense has been a huge boost. Green's scoring and passing abilities take some of the load off of Johnson. And McSwain does something similar to Morgan on defense, handling the other team's bigs to start the game, which has helped keep Morgan out of foul trouble, Steve.
This is getting real fun to watch all of a sudden. Where is this number 11 kid? Who is he? Where did he come from? My gosh, who found him? This Devontae Green kid? Kid's a player. How long have we been asking to see more of him in the game? And I understand that Coach has his own dance that he's dancing to and his own things. And boy, woulda, coulda, shoulda is going to come into play here had we not made this transition a little bit earlier.
Yeah, but Steve, real quick, maybe that's because he didn't think Green was ready yet. And let's face it, until the Illinois game where he made a huge mistake and he sat him for a game, Green did not look like this type of player. So I'm going to defer to what Archie Miller sees in practice on this.
I'm going to defer right with you to what's already happened is done and over with. What I think the signals tonight are this. One, by beating Minnesota, let's face it, Minnesota is not a top-tier team in the Big Ten. But it signals that Indiana may well now be a top-tier team in the Big Ten in the sense that they're going to slide through the bottom-tier teams now, and maybe games that we lost earlier in the year or struggled to win. I think we're going to win handily like we did tonight. And we still have not made a really grotesque showing against any of the big three. In Ohio State, Michigan State, and Purdue. We played for a period of time with all those teams, and I think it really says that right now, Indiana can be kind of lumped more in that group than they can in the group below us. Now, I think you have your super elite teams up there, and then you have your Michigans, your Indianas, your Nebraskas, Maryland maybe in that group. And then you've got the also-rans in there that are down there. But Indiana definitely has elevated their respectability right now to a great degree. I do not need to sit here and this is not a time to be hashing over statistics. Stats don't really come into play unless there's a glaring weakness somewhere, but we're not seeing any glaring weaknesses in the stat sheet. So I don't know if it's really worth addressing. I mean, we actually shot 60% from the free throw line tonight. Is that an all-time high for us this season?
Probably, and I think the big thing there is this. When you're making free throws, I think, and what you saw tonight was this team was penetrating more than they ever had. And
definitely.
I think when you're shooting free throws at a bad rate, it tends you to make you less aggressive, and then you're not taking the ball to the hole strong. I think tonight you saw them take it to the hole strong. They were swinging the ball around. They were making good decisions, and I think that really, how many teams have you seen that weren't real good free throw shooting teams win a national championship? Not many. And
No.
I think now the fact that they're making the free throws, it just kind of lends itself that the easiest way to get a scorer started is to get him on the free throw line earlier in the game.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartely. I think that the rising tide raises all buoys. I want to point out, too, it's the second time in a row now Robert Johnson has shot over 50%. 5 of 9. Devontae Green, 5 of 7. As a team, 56.6%. We're taking better shots. I'm just seeing a much more inspired game of basketball out of Robert Johnson than I did 3 weeks ago. And I know you're seeing it. I know the fans are seeing it. I know the coaches are seeing it. All of a sudden, Johnson's stock is rising to where he's becoming an effective leader and off guard on this basketball team, and we're freeing him up to do the things he needs to do. Possibly we were all just putting way too much pressure on him, and our expectations for our willingness or how we want him to play were messing with us, and now you've got Devontae in there who is playing like a true point guard right now. He is doing the things you would expect a point guard to do for you. His shot selection is really good. He's 4 for 6 from the 3-point line. He's making a world of difference. And I don't want to, I want to bring up McSwain too. This kid's coming here now and taking a load off of Morgan, like he said in your opening. He's playing some tough defense. He's going to the whole heart. He's crashing the boards hard. Now you got McRoberts crashing the boards. You got McSwain. And now you got 2 guys going there and really just knocking the ball around a lot and getting it loose. And it's just an inspired game of basketball. But realistically, what this is 1 of 5 games that we've got to win to get a sniff and make ourselves probably at best a bubble team. And then, of course, we've got to hope that there's no big upsets in tournament play where some loser team doesn't come in and win their tournament and take a spot that Indiana might be able to garner into the dance. But I still think the mission of this team is to dance in March. I think they're growing at a great rate. I think everybody should be enjoying it. I looked toward the end of the game, and I saw on a shot go up, a good shot. I saw the bench up. I saw guys clapping, high-fiving. I saw the managers at the end of the bench, trainers, weight coaches, everybody smiling on their face, high-fiving, and it looked like everybody was enjoying the game entirely.
Yeah,
so,
and I'll tell you the thing that really stands out to me, and I think we've seen this coming for a while now, was everybody, was down on Crane because no defense, the team was soft. But what we saw tonight was Minnesota shot just 33% from the field. Their stars, Jordan Murphy and Nate Mason, they were hounded by tight coverage. And the thing that really stood out to me, and something that Indiana was terrible at earlier in the year, was they were double teaming these guys all evening. But when the ball was coming out, they were rotating where they were supposed to be without even thinking about it. And defensively, I think this team has grown more than I could have ever hoped they would.
Yeah, it's still their Achilles heel. I mean, defense is still the weak spot. Offensively, I think they've nailed it down pretty good. I think they've got a good flow to their offensive system. They still look to get the ball inside as much as they can. I think our shot selection is getting better and better, and that's because you got Green and Johnson out there hitting shots, so you can't just guard one guy. You spread it out, and they don't need to force the shots. But I still think if we're going to make some impact here for the rest of the year, we've got to continue to improve our defensive play. We are much better. You're right. We're helping out more. We're covering more. We're blocking out better. We're out-rebounding teams now. Again, we out-rebounded Minnesota tonight, and I still think they're a little bit bigger team than we are. We're just doing the things we need to do. I want to see us continue to grow defensively as they're growing in terms of maturity and they're growing in terms of offensive skill sets and play calling. I want to point out, too, 8 guys with 17 or more minutes in the game. He's getting more players involved in the game. Okay, 8 guys, 12 guys saw minutes today. That's great. I mean, that's what you want. You want everybody stepping up and being able to come in. But 8 guys on the roster with over 17 minutes played almost half the game. that's what it takes. I mean, it takes an effort by everybody. No 5 players are going to win the national championship.
Especially, Steve, when you're as undersized as this team is. Because
right.
the advantage of playing 10 guys is the fact that you can keep coming at people at waves, and if you've got a team that's bigger than you, you can wear them down.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Smith comes in and plays bigger than his size. He gives you 4 for 7 shooting and scores 9 points in 17 minutes. And this kid wasn't even seeing the game earlier in the year, and now he's coming in. And, I mean, he made impact. I noticed the kid on the court. And I'm like, who was number 3? It was Josh Smith. And he's giving you minutes, and that's what you've got to have. You got to have all these kids coming in and making contributions, and we're starting to see it. You're getting more minutes. As you get more minutes, their playing time goes up, their confidence level goes up, which excites into more playing time, which gives coach more confidence to give them minutes of play. And you know what? Tell me the last time you really saw it. And think about this, because I'm thinking about it right now. I can't answer this. When's the last time you saw a really dumb mistake made by IU in a basketball game?
It's been a while now. It's been at least a couple
games.
While.
And
the thing is this, you'll see some mistakes that are mistakes, but the thing is this, those mistakes are because they're trying to make a play.
Right, exactly. I mean, somebody's going to say the last dumb mistake was Devontae Green's pass into the post on the Illinois game there. I still don't think that was a dumb play.
No, it's just poor execution.
Yeah, it was just poor execution of a great play. He made every right read on that play. But maybe I'm glad he blew that up because he sat and he got attention. He got notoriety. Maybe he came back to practice and worked his ass off. And look where he is now. I mean, he's moving his club. He's moving the cheese. Who moved my cheese? He's moving the cheese for this ball club right now. But I cannot think in tonight's game or the last game I watched of where I looked at it and said, that was really a dumb mistake. So we eliminate dumb mistakes. You compensate for your mistakes you make. Mistakes are going to be part of the game. That's just the nature of the beast. That's why you have offense and defense. And it's the object of the game is to force the other team to make mistakes so you can capitalize on them. But I think this team is just so headed in the right direction right now. I just hope it's not too little too late. I don't think it is. We still have a Big Ten tournament coming up to play in, and I think right now Indiana is playing as free form as anybody in the league right now. And right now, without just semi-analyzing it right now, we may be the best team left in the Big Ten with the least amount of pressure on us, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and
I mean, Purdue's got the pressure of a number 1 seed. Michigan State's got the pressure of a number 1 seed. Ohio State's got the pressure of winning the Big Ten. Indiana, I think right now, is playing at a level comparable to those teams. Maybe not there. We'll find out. We still got to play a couple of those teams. But we don't have any pressure on us because half the people in the world have already written Indiana off. But I wouldn't be taking it. If I was a Big Ten coach right now and said, I got to play Indiana, I'd be going, holy crap. We got to play Indiana.
Yeah, and that brings us –
Nebraska's got more to lose than we do.
To the next game, Wednesday night, Indiana plays Illinois. That's a game where I expect to see the same effort and to see the same type of score. Illinois is a team that beat Indiana a week or so ago, 73-71, which I think Indiana missed like 300 free throws in that game, too, to lose it by 2 points. And then we're going to see really, I think in the last 2 games, what kind of strides this team's really made because you go to Nebraska and then you host Ohio State, and Ohio State looks like a team that could be at least a Sweet 16 team this year.
Right, and those are 2 games really that are going to be watched closely by the NCAA because these are must-win games for Indiana against quality basketball clubs, both of them. Going to Nebraska is not going to be easy. Those people are rabid fans out there. There's not a lot to do in Lincoln, Nebraska. We've had this discussion on a Saturday night, and Nebraska wants to make its mark in basketball, not just football. Ohio State, they're gunning for a Big Ten championship, and they've got every reason to be doing that too. They're playing well enough, coming back and beating Purdue the way they did. That's a team. So I think this is a real good visual opportunity for us. Don't overlook Illinois. Let's don't overlook Iowa. Illinois, we've got some revenge to get. Iowa, going to Iowa City. Again, not an easy place to play. Now's the time where these teams that are like this can be spoiler. They're in that spoiler mode. Illinois and Iowa, we beat Indiana, we take them out. We eliminate them from any hope at all. So these guys have reasons to be playing hard too. So they're not going to be walkover games.
Yeah, and Iowa proved that the other night they played a great game against Michigan State and only lost 96-93 at home.
Right, exactly. I mean, they know that too. They know their season's close to being done, but we could disrupt some other teams' seasons too. So I think what we put ourselves in a position now is I think all of a sudden now again the NCAA is looking at us. Okay, they're watching us play now, and they've noted the changes that Coach Miller's made in his lineup. They're seeing it. They're seeing an improvement in that. They're realizing that this isn't the same team that started the Big Ten season, that's finishing the Big Ten season, and they saw growth and maturity. And I still think it's always advantageous to be Indiana. You carry that tradition, those banners, all that comes with you. And it does, depending on how you use it in your armamentarium, it can work for you or it can work against you.
Yeah.
But I think that Coach Miller's a smart enough man. He's going to find a way to make it work for him. And all of a sudden you watch Indiana rise and start playing. And again, I don't want to say we're world beaters now because this was Minnesota, who's lost a lot of their players, going through some tough times. I'm sure their coach is kind of going through hell to some degree with his dad. It's just a distraction up there, okay? Let's just call it what it is. It's a distraction. And things aren't as focused as maybe they could be. But we soundly beat that team, and we were never in jeopardy of not winning that ball game. And we continually improved throughout the whole game. Everybody that came in made contributions.
All right,
and
Steve.
I'm really pleased. I mean, I think it's short and sweet. I think we get on to Big Brother Celebrity Edition right now and find out who's going to get booted off for the first show tonight. That's critical. Those of you that don't know the results, they can go watch the Olympic opening ceremonies. Of course, those happened yesterday. Woke up on Twitter this morning at 6 o'clock, and they were already telling how wonderful it is. And so, read old news or dream about IU dancing in March, which is what I'm going to do.
Something really stuck out to me that I never thought I would see. Today I got some mail from a guy by the name of Mark Marshall, and there was actually a Steve Risley basketball card that he wanted to sign. I didn't know they made Steve Risley basketball cards.
Oh, yeah. It's just like the gift that keeps on giving, Clark, the Jelly of the Month Club.
Now, Steve,
it's like
Steve.
Your 15 minutes of fame never goes away when you're an Indiana basketball player.
Steve, I do have to ask you about
you are.
I have something glaring that sticks out on this card to me.
All right.
We're always talking about free throw shooting and how you say everybody should make 70% without a problem. Your freshman year, you shot 48%. You were 24 for 50.
I didn't have a girlfriend my freshman year. I was exploring. Okay?
What's that
I did
mean?
not have a girlfriend my freshman year.
Does that mean that you couldn't shoot free throws because your right wrist was too short?
I was rushing sororities. I figured if I'm going to live in a cold dorm, I'm not going to live in a fraternity with sleep in a dorm with a bunch of guys. I'm going to go try and join a sorority where I can get up in the cold dorm and sleep with a bunch of alpha guys. So
all right. I would like to bring up the fact that your free throw percentage by the time you left Indiana for all 4 years was almost 70%, so you were like 65. So we'll let you off the hook there.
Huh? Did I shoot 30 free throws my entire career?
Actually, your first year you shot 50, your second year 80, your third year 17, and your fourth year 43.
There you go.
Actually, you were like 64%. My eyesight's really bad as I get older. All right, okay. I can tell you this, though. You played 4 years, only had 60 assists, so it looks to me like you didn't like to pass the ball.
I never thought there was a better shooter than me on the team.
Yeah.
So if I got it in my hands, it was going up, which is why I'm grateful. Why I'm grateful for one thing when I played college basketball. There was no 3-point line then because my ass would have sat more than it already sat.
All right, Steve. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. And if anybody has any questions for Steve or wants to make fun of his free throw shooting, you can find him at Grueling Hoops on Twitter. You can also find us at The Grueling Truth on Twitter also. And remember, you can hear all of our shows on iHeartRadio, iTunes, TuneIn, Spreaker, Stitcher. Wherever you find sports podcasts, you'll find The Grueling Truth. So for Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.